this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill no one.
Wait a second.
No.
We return to our planet. The High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies. We like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin vs. the World, and we're here with another First Impressions, the show where I talk about the things I've just watched for the first time. I give a brief review of my first impressions, no analysis, though there is one coming. I'll be starting on that bad boy next week. But for now, let's have some more first impressions and enjoyable content. Today we're going to be discussing a movie called Blues Brothers 2000. You thought I was going to talk about the Blues Brothers, didn't you? Because I got the double feature. This is actually a really good set. It's kind of out of print, so you have to dig a little bit for it. But I really did like it. Not only does it have both movies, but it has a decent bevy of special features, including the extended edition of the original movie. And for that alone, it's worth the purchase. I really enjoyed this. The picture looked crisp and clean on both films. I watched them both back to back. I was really enjoying it. Now, I've seen Blues Brothers many a time, so I'm not going to go into that. Blues Brothers 2000, I watched for the first time today. So let's talk about Blues Brothers 2000. So this is a film where Elwood gets out of jail. He was with his brother Jake, and they were in this group called the Blues Brothers, and, well, after the first movie, they got sentenced to a pretty hefty jail sentence. Well, they waited to tell him until after his release that Jake has died, because, well, Belushi has long since passed. So he ended up going in, finding all these people who were lost, and then decided, oh, I need to form the band again. So he goes around recruiting some members. With one of the newest members he picks up in a strip club, which is played by, oh gosh, what is his name? By, not him, not Aykroyd, Goodman, John Goodman. And John Goodman actually does pretty well. When I saw the original stuff for this, I was turned off. I was like, why are you cannibalizing on this movie? But I mean, it's the original director back again, and you can tell. So, essentially they get the band back together to play, but the police are on their tail yet again, because hijinks have ensued, because they have a kid with them, which constitutes kidnapping. So, let's talk about the plot in this film. It's the same thing as the original. If you like the original, and you want to see some of the original kind of rehash as sort of like a, hey, let's send this off real quick, let's do this on the 20-year anniversary of the film, let's do a cool send-off, this is okay. I think that the songs were pretty good. I think overall it handled itself well. It did what it needed to do. Plot-wise, it's not very original. I don't like that they have to add a kid in there. I feel like everything was adding a kid in it. I don't think it needed a kid to do what it wanted to do. I think that a lot of the over-top nature of the first film, they decided, oh, hold my beer. We're going to make sure it's even more over the top this time. And trust me, the first one was very over the top. My memory had it's like, it's not that bad. No. So let's talk about acting. I thought the acting was well done. I think even the kid did pretty decent with his roles. He was not the best, but he's not the worst either that I've seen as child actors go. Everybody else handled their parts well. There's 1.5 billion famous cameos, as you would expect. And they got a lot of the original cast to return, which is really neat. Very well handled. Thumbs up for that. Music-wise, though not as classic or iconic as the first one, this is still a soundtrack that would be great to own. I think that they did a great job with it. The soundtrack not just works for the film, but also works on its own. This is probably one of the best types of soundtrack there is. Not the best of that type, but definitely is in that high ground. So finally, who would watch this? I think fans of the original that are curious. I admit, because I was a fan of the original, I was kind of worried they were going to bastardize this. And I wasn't as disappointed as I thought I was going to be. So I think if you like the original Blues Brothers, and it's been a while, I think you'll like the callbacks here. There is care done to it. It is done in a similar fashion. I think it is worthwhile. It's just a more over-the-top version of the original. So you're getting a little bit more of what you like if you like that style. If you like a decent comedy with good music, I think you could do worse than this. And overall, yeah, if you don't like these remakes, if you don't like them trying to do the same thing over and over again, don't watch this. But otherwise, I think you should give it a try. It's not as bad as you might think. This is SeptumSin, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.